So people, right, there's some things you just have to do to hit it pure, and this is one of them. There's so many people out there thinking that great ball strikers, past and present, they're all swinging differently, and really it couldn't be further away from the truth. This position in this golf swing is just so important. The closer you get to this, the better you're going to hit it. When we're looking here at drawing a line, what's the number here as we draw it straight down through the shoulder plane, 40 degrees, right? Every single top player in world golf is within just a couple of degrees of this position. Where are you? Because the further you get from this, like seriously, the worse you're going to hit it. Now, we're going to look at a style of swing in this video that really is just simple, and it's just so much easier, and it's going to be explained very basically. Unfortunately, amateur golfers, I mean, they're just miles away from this, and the thing that's getting me is they don't even know that they're doing it. So what we're going to do is take you step by step through here, an easier swing, an easier way to get your wrists working perfectly, an easier way to get your shoulders set up perfectly. That's just going to send off an incredible chain reaction on your entire motion. So people, the closer you get to this position, the more you're going to flush it. Now, what we're looking at really is getting the left arm around 40 degrees, on the shoulder plane around 40 degrees, and the club head around 20 degrees. And if you get this, it just makes it so much easier to get the club in this position, right, for the masses of the people out there. And that is the club coming in behind your hands. And if you're not using TrackMan or flight scope and you get this club head just slightly on this side, 12 o'clock, you're going to get really, really close to zeroing out your numbers. And so this position, there are subtle variations with your grip depending on how much you slice or how much you come in sort of steep or how much you open up the face. But it's not something that's new. But we're helping so many people to hit the ball heaps better. And for a lot of the players out there, we've seen, from this type of position at the top where it looks pretty good, we're just seeing people coming in, unfortunately, knuckles up, slicing it, flipping it. See how open that club face is there? That's just happening to so many people. You've got to be filming your swings on your mobile phone, or just send your swing through to me. It's funny when people are trying to save money on something that they really love and invest a lot of time and effort into. Guys, we're going to have a look here at some great drills and get you guys to understand how to, just make it easier, how to play better golf. So let's get stuck into the shoulders. I'm going to show you later on in the video how to get your hands and your wrists to work really, really effectively. So guys, not a bad strike there, right? Let's talk about this movement off the golf ball and a move that complements it, and getting your backswing in a great position to enable your downswing to happen a little bit more automatically. Now, what I'm talking about in this part of the video here is to get this lead shoulder, to prevent it from lifting up. I mean, people do we see in golf lift up and away. It's just not good. It's really not a great place to be in your golf swing when that left side's up, because this happens here. But if there's compensation moves, it's nasty stuff. So what we want to look at doing here is getting a club face position that complements the left shoulder. And when we move away, we want to really get this left shoulder to work downwards, but to get this club face working back in a position where the right wrist picks up in angle. So that club face there, it's pointed over towards 1 o'clock, or from my side 11 o'clock, and I'm getting that left shoulder down. If I have the handle, how many people, they lift up the handle and they lift up the shoulder and they do all these funny things before they take it away, rather than just getting this lead shoulder just to work down, getting a little bit more pressure sort of downwards into the ground and getting this right wrist to break back on itself. Now, when you get to the top of the swing, when you've got deeper shoulders or lower left shoulder, you can pick up your angles more in your right wrist. That's a shallowing effect, squares up your club face, less need for resistance, more shaft lean, better angles coming down. I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? So you've got to look at this part of your swing when you're looking at the takeaway, left shoulder down and this position here. Now, we've spoken about this a few times. This is a right angle, just bear with me for a second, right? That's a right angle, that's 90 degrees, that's 0, and that's going 80, 70, 45, right? So 90 is at the camera, 45 is over that way, okay? Now, if I'm swinging and I'm moving this left shoulder down, I'm getting that club head from my side pointing at 11 o'clock. If I get halfway back, and if you can imagine I'm holding a mobile phone in my trail hand, my right hand, if that mobile phone, if I'm showing someone at 45 degrees a picture there,
or I'm just pointing a laser light out of my phone over that direction, however you want to say it, you're lining up your wrists, you're getting perfect wrist alignment from all these positions. You get your left shoulder down and point the phone at 45. Left shoulder down. You just keep doing practice swings there. You're going to get this left wrist flat. You're going to get on a great plane. You're going to get your elbows closer together. That, people, is setting up deep shoulders, big angles, and from there, I mean, half the swing is really done. The longer that I play this game, the more I look at biomechanics, and some of my friends are great instructors all around the world, some of the best. The more we look, and I look at the backswing, when you get this backswing to collect, when you get the tilts, the 40 degree corridor from tour players, and you get your wrist alignments matching up to that, the easier it is. A lot of the positions and things we have in the golf swing, really, they're because of a chain reaction of a mistake before. You have to get into that point of failure, and that's an area where when you're looking at your own swing, it's difficult. And I've just been teaching so many people from all around the world, and they're just not finding that point of failure, unfortunately. They're not professional instructors, and I know that some of you know quite a bit about the swing, but really having, you know, it's hard to teach yourself, getting that second pair of eyes, especially if you don't mind me saying mine. You know, I've done thousands of online lessons and taught just so many top players around the world. I can get in there and help you as well. So let's move on further into the video as we look and explore this shoulder, this right hand, to enable us to build plane, balance, pivot properly, get some torque, resistance, get your tilts and your turns better in your swing, and that's going to enable us to get into a better impact position and hit the ball more consistently down the line. World Class Golf Instructions improving golfers between 4 and 11 shots. Your swing analyst video is the same as this YouTube format, except with your swing on the screen. It goes between 15 to 30 minutes with tailored drills and exercises, a higher level of instruction at a cheaper price. 1,300 videos, 75 separate series. Reach out to us in the chat room and get on the path of playing your best golf. I'm going to show you an easier way here to help you get forward shaft lean, to get better contact, and also to get the path of your swing, the direction of your swing a little bit better. Now, if we have a closed face, and obviously closed and strong grips and strong faces, they're better than weak ones, right? We hit the ball further. But if the club face is closed, if I get some forward shaft lean, the club face is straight. So what we're going to do, right, in conventional terms, we've been looking at getting a 2-knuckle grip for a lot of people and getting, you know, the sole of the club lined up with the lead forearm. Unfortunately, what happens from there is a lot of people will actually slightly open the face a little bit coming down, and when they try and get forward shaft lean, you know, they hit it way right, and subconsciously, really, they don't realize they're doing it. They just sort of flip and come back to impact and really lose their angles. Now, there's ways to go about it, but if you want to get a much easier way, here's an easier way. You get your left hand, or your lead hand, 1, 2, 3, you turn your hand in so that you see 3 knuckles, so that your lead wrist is more into extension, which is going to give you some play and movement anyway. But you get to the top of your swing and you still manage to get a flat left wrist from this position. And what it will do is it will get this sole of the club slightly higher than the lead forearm, and this will have to make you hang on to your angles. If you're coming back to impact like this, you're going to hit it left, you need forward shaft lean. This is going to encourage that position. We're going to bring this club down, and we're going to be able to get this club level with the hands or slightly behind the hands. This is your entry. Are you filming your swings with your mobile phones? You really, really should be. I mean, who's not doing it? Right, and this is what we're showing you at World Class Golf. Right, guys, this is a really interesting drill to get the correct wrist and hand alignments and get your body working effectively. Let's have a look at this. What we're going to do is preset the club. Okay, so you try to keep your hands in the same position, presetting it, but keeping the club here pointed at 1 o'clock. Now, when you do that, your left wrist is going to be really flat and you've got some angle. Now, if you notice when I get the club to 12, there's no angle in the wrist, no power, slicing, flipping, the whole lot. This is the key, building up this angle, the creases in the wrist. So you preset, I'll show you from the front view, and from here, keep connection and turn. And it's going to get you in a bit of a stronger position at the top here. This is something that's really, really important for you guys. 1 o'clock, preset, up to the top, keep the connection. Lead wrist flat, look at the angle in my right wrist. The deeper you get the shoulders, the more angle. The more you're up, the more you look shut. Okay, the more you're up, the club face is shut. The more you're down, the bigger the angle. And this is how you create really a lot of speed. From this view, it's a great drill, this one. Have a look at this. So keep the hands almost in the circle, pointed at 1 o'clock. you've got your angle, swing back, get that right shoulder behind you, and you've got a feeling where that elbow can come in into such a pure position. So guys, right, the hanger, this thing is unbelievable. It really has helped my downswing shallow, and it's given me a much better delivery into the golf ball. Now what you do is it takes a couple of minutes to set this thing up, and you start off in your address position, and once you've got a good setup, I like to set it up in a way I get like a finger width here away from my forearm. Now on the way back, what you do is you let it rest against your forearm, and when it doesn't, the left wrist is too cupped, but when it rests against your forearm, the club head gets in a really good position. Up the top of your swing, it presses, this is what's helped me a lot, it stays connected here, and it stays connected into your downswing. And that's what really helps to shallow out that club, right? So you can feel it. What I do like is through the ball, I want it to, when I release it, I want it to touch my other forearm, because we've got sharpening, but when I release it underneath, I get a neutral style release, and you know we've talked about that on many videos, lead wrist extension through the ball, right hand working underneath. So in the backswing, or in your setups not touching, then it rests and touches, and on the way down it stays connected, and this is the part that I really, really like. Coming down and then getting this right wrist then to move underneath, and you can feel it actually change and it touching the right forearm here. Wow, this is unbelievable for chipping this. We're going to do more and more videos on this thing, because it's something that I believe is, you can experiment with it, you can set it up in different positions, different parts of your game. For me, it's an absolute no-brainer, because after I've hit 10 balls, I can go back to my club and I can feel what I was actually doing. I think I could actually go on the course and just about, this is no joke, play better if I had them all on my clubs. It does get us into that lead wrist position that is just a shallower. It helps us get the club head in a good position. Once it stays, once you flip too early, it leaves the wrist here, and so you can move into impact and have that in contact. Then after impact, it leaves and touches the other guys, the hanger. In the description underneath, there's discount. This is an absolute no-brainer, and will shallow out and give you a much, much better delivery position into the golf ball. So guys, got a couple of drills here to really get your lead arm connected to your chest. Let's have a look at this drill, because this is an absolute belter. What we're going to do is you're going to take your address position, let your arms hang down, and try and make it realistic so that you're the same distance from the ball. Bring your right hand in front of your left. Right, now draw this, I'll probably cover my mic now, but draw the arm back, and what's going to happen is a larger part of the inner side of your top arm is going to be drawn across your chest. It's a little exaggerated, looks a little bit like Ben Hogan's swing there, but what you can do is get a real good feel for that. Now when you do it, try and keep the lead wrist still flat. When you're doing your drills, make them realistic.